Namaskar class. So in the last lecture, I ended with this slide explaining how the brain developed and evolved from just basic functions to higher cognitive complex functions. Now open your manual to page number 91. So I ended with explaining the limbic system, and I will just quickly go through page number 91 and 92, starting with spinal cord. So usually, you've experienced that when you touch a burning sensation, when you touch a hot vessel, or when you have something with your nerves, there's an immediate reaction, like reflex, to protect yourself. If you are walking and you wobble, there's an immediate reaction that you will find a balance and you will ground yourself. Those immediate reactions that help you um, to stay safe physically from any jerks, from any harmful or painful sensations are happening because of the nerve structure that is in the spinal cord. So if I am touching a say if I'm touching a hot vessel, and or if I am like lighting a flame and my finger starts to burn, I will quickly take my hand away. I gave this example in the last class also. So when I'm quickly taking the hand away, the message that the sensory message to my body from the environment that something hot burnt my finger did not reach to the brain. It first reached to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord processed, the nerves in the spinal cord processed it, and the spinal cord in return, the nerves in the spinal cord in return sent the message to my finger, this motor neuron, and I removed my hand and I am safe now. So this is very important part of nerves in spinal cord that helps us in surviving situations and keeping us safe, physically safe. Now let us just go through the parts of spinal cord. Cervical spinal cord, which is controlling the neck, hands, arms. Whenever you have pain in the upper part of the neck, you would feel a lot of heaviness and maybe headache or maybe eye pain. And when, now you can reflect that when there is cervical pain or headache or eye pain, you feel low on energy. That is because the diaphragm is also affected, and when the diaphragm is affected, there is lack of oxygen or improper breathing in the body. Therefore, it's just to understand that the nerve endings I explained in the last class, where the nerves on the brain are somewhere connected with the entire spinal cord, starting from the bottom of your head around your neck to the tailbone, till your pelvic floor. So all the nerves are like tangled with each other, and the nerve structure located on the upper back also connect with your hands and arms, with your diaphragm, and with your um, neck. Okay. Next comes thoracic spinal. So first we studied the upper part, now comes the middle part. Just understand the location of the middle part. It is connecting with what? Chest area. Chest, back, and around your stomach, abdominal muscles. So whatever nerve structure is um, located in the middle back of the area is also helping these organs, these areas in the body, that is chest, back, and abdomen around the stomach, function well. Next comes the lower part of the back of the spine, sacral spinal cord or lumbar. It sends now, and just you can guess by the location. It's in the lower part of the spine, so it would send signals to the legs and around the area, like reproductive area or pelvic floor. Okay, so you don't have to memorize anything about it, just for the understanding that whatever sensory, motor, or cognitive functioning is being worked through our body, it's not just the brain who is responsible, it's also the bunch of nerves located throughout the spinal cord also responsible, but their functions are divided on the basis where they are located: upper part, middle part, and lower part. Which is why studying spinal cord for not just for asanas or physical thing, even for understanding mental health or trauma healing, spinal cord study is important because uh, your location of your backache can give you an understanding of what kind of emotion you have been carrying or you have been suppressed throughout your life, or what kind of emotional conflict you have gone through, which you may not be aware of or you may not be able to process it, and the impact is being carried by the nerves, the bunch of nerves in your back. So, if you have a lot of cervical pain or aches in upper back, just imagine a daily wage worker or a laborer. He would lift like a sag of heavy stuff and would carry on the back and move from one place to another. So, just understand by this example that if you are carrying the responsibility of everyone else's emotions, moods in the room, in your relationships, you have been carrying a lot of load, which is somewhere related to the outside environment and outside people, and which is why upper back is being harmed, or you have a lot of responsibilities to take care of everyone in your life, your upper back can be affected. Middle back. So middle back is again the same, but somewhere mix of fear and anger is compressing the nerves. Okay. There is not much detail to understand in the middle back because middle back is also giving you a support, a structure. Just imagine if your middle back is aching, you would like slouch or try to lie down, but not uh, stand, not be able to stand or sit straight. Therefore, the middle back gives you the ground and the structure, and you can be more um, mindfully grounded and confidently stand uh, when you are taking care of your fear and your anger. Coming to the lower back also is labeled as sacral spinal cord, or it is also like there is the sacral chakra also at the bottom of your spine, which is your tailbone, and it is responsible for the foundation and survival of this human life. So if we have a lot of insecurity around survival, for example, I may not have enough money to survive, or I'm poor. It's not the physical situation, but the belief system that we carry. Or no matter what I do, people don't like me, people don't love me. Any belief system that threatens your purpose to live, this emotional or mental state would affect the lower part of your spine, which is the lumbar or the sacral region. So, since we are insecure and we are lacking the purpose to live, there will be a lot of fear around life, around future, being experienced by the human, and it will affect the lower part of the spine. So, again, nothing to memorize, but just to understand that the nerves in the spinal cord are equally responsible for your reactions to store emotions for trauma healing as much as the nerves in your brain. Now, functions of spinal cord, I just explained in the example, transmitting information. I touch a hot vessel, the sensory information that of hot temperature is being transferred to spine, and again, if I am removing the hand, the information is being transferred to this motor part of nervous system. Ref, reflexes, the spinal cord controls simple reflex actions like knee jerk, needing to send signals all the way to the brain. So it's like brain is a bit far, and till the time the signal goes to the brain, some harm can happen to the body. Therefore, the nerves in the spinal cord act like an emergency guard, and they would receive the information and they would send the message to the motor nerves accordingly that now it's time we need to move. Reflex is any response by the body that happens beyond our conscious awareness. Coordination of movement, it helps coordinate actions between different muscle groups. So as we understood that the upper part is connected with the neck, the middle part is connected with stomach muscles, the lower part is connected with the legs. So all these bunch of nerves and their endings are connected with muscles in the said physical areas. The muscle we have around our neck, trapezius muscle, or the muscle, the core muscles we have around our stomach, or the muscles we have around our legs, quads, and calves. The nerves in your spine are individually connected with these muscles and they help us carry our structure well. Functions of central nervous system we have studied in last lecture. Now coming to peripheral nervous system, page number 92. Peripheral nervous system, let me remind you of this chart we studied here. Sorry. So this is peripheral nervous system. Okay. In peripheral nervous system, the book says that there are two categories, somatic and autonomic. So we are studying about the motor nervous system part, which helps us move consciously and unconsciously. One is somatic, which means all the nerves connected with your cerebellum, the lower part of the brain, this part of the brain, cerebellum. So all the bunch of nerves connected with cerebellum that helps you move in asana class or gym comes under somatic nervous system because you can move your body consciously at your own will. Now comes autonomic nervous system. For example, breathing, blood pumping, heart is also a muscle, lung is a muscle, and the food we eat, it gets digested. All these mechanisms are happening beyond our conscious level against our will. We cannot tell the food that you can't be digested here. So autonomic nervous system means where the nerves are working automatically. Now in autonomic nervous system, page number 93, ANS is further divided into sympathetic, parasympathetic, and enteric. So from here, we are understanding the base information, like the basic information that will help us make sense of polyvagal theory. Polyvagal theory is all about parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. So in first, the open page number 93 of your manual, sympathetic nervous system is flight or fight response. Okay. What happens when the body is in fight or flight? Your heart rate would go higher. It would pulse rate would increase. The heart will be pumping the blood faster. Pupils dilate for better vision. In pupils dilate for better vision, as in the pupils help us get all the light in the eyes. So pupils dilate, they either decrease or increase in order for the brain to get as much visual information as it is important, which can help us survive as the body is in emergency mode, like fight or flight. Either I have to run away or I have to fight the situation. My entire nervous system is threatened right now. Increases airflow by relaxing bronchial tubes, redirect blood flow from digestive system to muscles, preparing the body for action. So redirecting blood flow from digestive system to muscles, which is why when we are scared or when we are angry, there is a lot of surge of energy flow in our limbs, as in our arms and legs. And which is why when we are angry or when we are scared or anxious, we lose our appetite. We don't feel hunger, or we say, I don't feel like eating right now. I am disturbed, I am upset, I am depressed. It is because the nerves that are connected, or the vessels that are helping you flow the blood to your digestive system, it's not happening right now. It has redirected to just arms and legs, and you just have this energy. Even the brain part, this frontal brain, the cognitive brain, it switches off, it shuts down, and this part of the brain is activated when we studied this in this slide in the last lecture. That neocortical function, the frontal lobe part, the activity reduces, and the back part of the brain, the activity increases, and there is tightness in muscles because my muscles are now very activated. Like if you are lifting weight, if there's weight in your hand and you're lifting it, this muscle gets tightened and it's activated. Similarly, entire muscles in the body, basic big muscle group that is around your arms and legs or neck, gets activated, it gets tight. So now a reflective homework for you all, that whenever you are triggered, anxious, irritated, overwhelmed, or just listening to or witnessing something which is disturbing you, notice which area of your body's muscles get activated. For example, if I am going through a difficult conversation with someone, maybe in my therapy session also, and somebody is talking about death or some difficult, very ugly childhood experience, I happen to have tightness around my upper back, around my neck, like this. My shoulders will go upright, and I need to consciously relax them. So if my shoulders are automatically going upright and I am talking to my client, physically I am safe, but at the level of nervous system, my brain is getting a signal that I am not safe till the time I consciously relax it. Okay. Similarly, I experience when I am angry or frustrated, there is a lot of tightness in my neck. So if that emotion or the impact that I have received from a difficult story in my session or anything is not being resolved or processed, I may tend to carry the tightness for days because I may not be aware. So this happens with usually with generally with people who are not aware of this theory or how the nervous system functions, that we tend to carry the impact of emotion in constriction of muscles for years, sometimes for weeks, for months, for days, which is why we tend to happen. We have certain aches and pains which has no organic reason, and we don't understand why our body is hurting when we are taking care of diet, we are exercising, but we are not focusing on how we have been feeling for many years. Okay, so sympathetic nervous system, in a way, helps us deal with difficult situations to survive. For example, if you're walking and somebody starts to follow you, or you sense a threat or a danger physically in your environment, sympathetic nervous system would activate well. It will release adrenaline, which will give you more energy to run or maybe to hide or to protect yourself. Like if I'm coming from subway to my home and I sense that someone is following me, someone is following me, whatever changes are happening in my body that is helping me survive the situation, uh, that is happening because of sympathetic nervous system. And interestingly, our brain cannot differentiate the physical reality and the mental reality. Now, if something is not happening in my physical environment, I'm safe, comfortable sitting in my room, and I think of a old painful memory, or I am stressed with daily chores or daily things that I'm not able to take care of, or there's job and work related stress, in any situation, my sympathetic nervous system would work in the same way as it would work if someone is following me and I feel scared and I'm in danger physically. So This is what we also study in polyvagal theory. I'll explain later. But for you to understand, there is no difference between mental stress and physical stress for our nervous system. Our nervous system reacts in the same manner, increase of heart rate, increase of blood flow, more adrenaline in the body, more surge of energy. And with asanas, yoga, nidra, kunjal, pranayama, everything that we are doing, especially silence day asana class, that is so, so important. It is so, so boring for me as well, but it is very important as that duration when we are holding one posture and we are attending to that specific movement or muscle for a good 10-15 seconds, it will give a chance for the sympathetic nervous system to maybe slow down or for the parasympathetic nervous system to activate, and consciously we won't even realize what is being stuck in what area of the body, and it's being released just by stretching the muscles, but also consciously attending to that sensation of stretch. Okay, I hope I made sense in past 5 minutes. If not, please rewatch the lecture and feel free to ask your doubts. Now coming to parasympathetic nervous system, which is opposite. So sympathetic will help you fight or flight. Parasympathetic is rest and digest, repair. So if I have hurt my joint or knee, I would have a plaster around my leg. I would be walking slow or taking care or taking support while walking. All of these things, the precautions that I'm taking to protect my joint or my wound, my injury, I am giving it time to repair. I may not immediately start exercising or doing asanas. Now, this is for the physical part. It's very easy for humans to understand what we can physically see, okay, which is tangible, which is real for us. So, if I have hurt my finger or anywhere in the body physically, I may give it time, I may apply some antiseptic cream, or I may give it time to repair and restore and heal. Now, the interesting part is humans don't tend to act in the same way in for the emotional wounds, like when I am hurt or when I have gone through something so painful that my brain hasn't processed it yet, which is what we call as trauma. In those cases, the parasympathetic nervous system is playing a role and it is getting affected, but it is not working in its right balanced way. Now, I will start by explaining what's in the book and I will connect this information to the example that I've given. Parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest response. It promotes relaxation, risk recovery, conserving energy after the sympathetic. So, if you had a bad, stressful day or a very anxious, overthinking day, in any case, you would come back home, change your clothes, take a shower, have your meal, and maybe watch Netflix or binge watch or just doom scroll on your phone. In this case, we are relaxing. Okay, body is being slowed down. So, in a way, parasympathetic is activated because now we are, as the note says, we are relaxed, we are conserving energy, we are not very active, we are just lying down and just scrolling the phone. But and also, what is happening that time? It slows the our heart rate slows down when we take a warm shower and when we are when the muscles are relaxed, blood pressure is low, stimulates digestion and promotes nutrient absorption. So if we are very stressed till the time we don't relax ourselves, we may not have our get back our appetite. We may be hungry. The body would need food, but we may not feel the hunger till the time the heart rate and the breathing comes down. Constriction of pupils reduces airflow in bronchi, encourages the body to focus on restorative processes such as healing and growth. So, everything opposite of sympathetic comes in parasympathetic. Now, I just said that when you have had a very difficult day and you come back, you like de stress yourself, even you even relax yourself. But there may be situations when you're not able to sleep or a thought keeps interfering in your head. That means that physically my body is relaxed at the level of muscles. But at the level of nervous system, my body, the energy that is um, being given to the body through a interfering thought or through a background emotion is not being regulated. So I may be relaxed in the physical body, but my nervous system may not be regulated. In this case, parasympathetic is activated, okay, but not the good one, the one which is only barely helping us survive. Now, look at this slide and come to page number 94, Polyvagal Theory. Okay, this guy, his name is Stephen Porges. He gave this theory in 1996. He did this study on various age groups of humans, like on kids also, on elders also, to understand how like how the traumatic experiences have deeply affected the nervous system in a way that we need to work on body to heal trauma and not just talk therapy. So the theory name is polyvagal theory. Poly means many. Vagal is referred to vagus nerve in the body. So our skull, our brain is divided in 12 parts throughout. Okay, this spherical region is divided in 12 parts. Every part has bunch of nerves that is responsible for specific action, like for movement, for breathing, for very specific role every part has. Now there is the 10th part in this skull that has the bunch of nerves. That nerve, a bunch of nerves, as in that one single nerve, also has very small, tiny nerve fibers, which is called vagus nerve, which is the 10th cranial nerve in our skull. And that vagus nerve starts from the base of the brain, follows down through the entire spine, being rolled around the spine. And after being rolled around the spine, the bunch of nerves are connected with face, neck, chest, diaphragm, lower part in your digestive region, and in the pelvic floor, reproductive region. Okay, this is one single long nerve in the entire body, ruling everything, every action, every behavior that we go through. So, um, this, look at this picture. Here, the nerve starts at the base of the brain. It comes down. It's so there is no spinal cord in this, but it is like tangled around your spinal cord, and it is coming down to the neck, chest. It's also coming to the face, which is not there in this picture. But as you can see here, the nerves are connected with the face. Then the nerves are connected with the chest. Then they are connected with the lung area, heart, diaphragm, pancreas, then in the stomach, and coming down to the touching the reproductive area. Okay, so all the nerves that are like spread out here, these are the organs they are connected to: jaw, face, neck, throat, heart, chest, then stomach, then liver, on the entire digestive system to down. You can see here, this is again the like colored version of that one single nerve. So we are seeing three colors: green, blue, and red. These are not three nerves, these are just one single nerve, color coded in three parts because it plays three different roles. One single nerve playing three different roles. In order for us to understand the three roles, it is color coded in three colors. Okay, but it is again connected with your entire spine. All right. Now coming to this polyvagal theory simplified. So first is sympathetic state, activates your fight and flight response, which we have understood. Then comes ventral vagal and dorsal vagal. Now the nerves that are spread to the face till your neck, your jaw, upper back, till here. Here means it's around the chest area. The bunch of nerves that are spread from the face to the chest area, all the areas above the diaphragm is understood as, is known as ventral vagal nervous system. Okay, the green part. Here it's green in color. Here also it's green in color in this picture. To the face, to the upper back, the cervical region, and till the chest area above the diaphragm. Above the diaphragm would include my lungs, my breathing, respiratory system. This is known as ventral vagal nervous system. Or if we go back to this flow chart, ventral vagal or social engagement nervous system. Now, what is social engagement? Here you can see it's written social engagement. Let us read the words in social engagement: joy in the present, groundedness, curiosity, compassion, and mindful. Social engagement also says that there is connection, safety oriented to the environment. What does it mean? Now, understanding when from the, let us go to a time where this nervous system begins to develop. When we are a small baby, when we are an infant, a born baby cannot speak, cannot do much with life, but it can express itself through crying and screaming and reflexes and like shaking the legs away. A small baby. Now, in order for us to calm down the baby, we would hold the baby from the neck region so that it's supported, the head is supported, and we would look in the eyes of the baby. We would make some sounds like, and we would like to like talk to the baby with our facial expressions with smile. Now, if I am holding a baby like this and I am just gently, happily connecting or interacting with the baby with a smile, with relaxed muscles, with um, a joyful energy on my face, this ventral vagal will get positive signals that, okay, this is a safe environment. These are the safe hands I can be held in, and I am safe and I am comfortable, and I can trust this person. Now, if physically I, in my own nervous system, I'm not safe, I feel threatened, or if I feel irritated, or I'm very dysregulated, like any new parent would be, and I'm picking my baby and I'm pretending to like smile and cuddle and care and interact with the baby, but deep inside my jaw muscles are tight and I am like, I'm not regulated and I'm frustrated, and I would pretend to smile, pretend to have the eye connection or eye contact with the baby, but physically for real I'm not okay in my nervous system. The ventral vagal would not get the right signal. The ventral vagal would the signal would shift from the green nerves to the yellow nerves. Now, the yellow nerve is covering the entire spinal cord in the back. Even in this picture, the yellow, the the yellow part in this picture and the blue part in this picture is the same. Okay. So the signal will not be sent to my ventral vagal nervous system. It would be sent to my dorsal vagal nervous system. Okay, which is down. Which is, if I look at the yellow part, it is covering the backside of the back. It is covering the entire stomach area. If I look at this picture, the blue part, it is covering the entire stomach area and reproductive area. Okay. Anything below my diaphragm is dorsal vagal. Anything above my diaphragm is ventral vagal. Now, if I am an infant and my caregiver is pretending to connect with me, but the caregiver is not in real regulated, which would have been the case with most of us. Our parents would have made us go through. I'm not blaming any parent, but just acknowledge the reality that throughout our upbringing, we have gone through certain situations or difficult days as a kid, which we may not remember, where our parents were absent, where they were too dysregulated, too much shouting, too much abusive words, something is happening. We don't remember what happened, but the nerves, the ventral vagal did not get the signal, the dorsal vagal got a lot of signal, and the nervous system got the message that I cannot trust this environment, this is not safe for me. And when I don't feel safe, I am in danger. What would my nervous system do? It would activate the sympathetic area of the nervous system, which is the fight or flight. Now, when sympathetic is activated, the abdomen muscles, the gut area, the reproductive area is also activated, which is why someone could grow up with a lot of gut and stomach or digestion issues throughout their life and may not understand what's happening with me. Okay. Someone would have a lot of lower back and middle back issues and may not like understand that where it all started. It all started when we were maybe in the womb of our mothers or in the um, really early age of our life. It could be from first week of our life towards 7 8 years, where the nervous system of that child, that kid, that weak physical small tiny human went through a lot of stimulation, a lot of environmental stimulation, which would either be safe, joyful, happy, comfortable, and it would activate the ventral vagal, which is the facial muscles and the nerves above the diaphragm, or it would be unsafe, threatening, abusive, violent, difficult, lonely, which would activate the lower part of the nervous system, anything below the diaphragm, which is dorsal vagal. Okay, so dorsal vagal um, includes, again, coming back to this chart. So social engagement would be ventral vagal. You can write it down under social engagement. Ventral vagal nervous system, which means the area, the body parts above the diaphragm, which would include the face, the upper cervical region, and the chest area, the respiratory area. Now comes sympathetic nervous system, and then sympathetic nervous system is mobilization, and then there is one parasympathetic nervous system category, immobilization. Now we will focus on these two terms. Social engagement, we understood, the safe and the joyful and the happy, the ideal environment any kid would need to grow in order to stabilize the brain and have this meaning that I can trust the world. The world is safe for me. If the kid grows up in a difficult environment and it grows up with a meaning that I cannot trust anyone in this world, it's not safe for me, these two things are happening in background, immobilization and mobilization. So mobilization is surge of energy, movement, fight or flight, defend, that is sympathetic, which we understood. What is immobilization? Immobilization also is a part of parasympathetic. Which, so one thing in parasympathetic, we understood anything which slows down or relaxes, which helps us repair and restore our energy, is because of parasympathetic. Now, if this is the positive part of parasympathetic, okay? this part, rest and repair. Now there is another not so positive part in parasympathetic. I will not use the word negative because it is again helping us survive. Immobilization part, which means where we disassociate with our body, where we go numb, where we say that I feel so depressed, I don't feel anything, I don't enjoy anything. Um, I don't know how I'm feeling. I just want to, maybe the suicidal ideations or the lack of purpose to live this life. Everything, those meant those belief systems where I am very much disconnected, dissociated, not wanting to socialize, everything is covered in the immobilization part of parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so coming, let us go through this. This is again the dorsal vagal is immobilization part of parasympathetic. The ventral vagal is social engagement part of parasympathetic, and in the middle lies the sympathetic nervous system. Okay. So it says dissociation, numbness, depression, conservation of energy, helpless, overwhelmed. So whenever if you find a, or you reflect in your own life and you see yourself going through either of this in any certain period of life, and also you experience a lot of shame, there is shutdown in your body, it's like you don't enjoy eating, you lose your appetite, there is not right functioning of respiratory system or even gut, hopelessness, preparation of death, so suicidal, or just trapped or stuck and don't know what to do with life. Everything, if a human experiences, is because of the dorsal vagal nervous system, which has been receiving a lot of negative stimulation throughout life, difficult environment, difficult caregivers, and over the years from early first week of life till like 7 8 years, if I got a lot of happy experiences, my this ventral vagal part would be activated, it would develop stronger. If I got negative experiences, my dorsal vagal part would activate, that would grow stronger. So if dorsal vagal is growing stronger, it would mean that I may grow up a lonely kid, may not be able to have more friends, may not be able to connect with anyone, lost, numb, and not understanding anything in life, stuck. But see, these are the words now which we have, with as we are educated, we are grown with more intelligence, we have the words to make sense. But nervous system does not work with verbal language. It works with muscles and sensations. Okay. So there are a lot of sensations, aches, pains, muscle contractions that happen in the freeze mode, in social engagement mode, and fight or flight mode. As you are in this ashram, for your remaining days, your I would suggest to focus more on the sensations. Like it is a part of curriculum also, as Didi keeps us reminding, focus on your breath, slow down, give yourself that time to come enter the class, get ready for it. All of these things that we are doing, even yoga nidra, it's all about sensations. Notice the thoughts, notice the sounds in the environment, notice the muscles, the shavasana that we do, the final relaxation in the asana class. Again, focusing on sensations and relaxing muscles. Every time we are doing it, we are activating the ventral vagal part, which may not be so developed due to difficult experiences in life. And also, we activate or we tap the suppressed stuck energy in the dorsal vagal part, which would also help us regulate the prana in the body and would help us heal from painful experiences, which is why we are studying this specific topic in ashram today. So far, I think I tried my best to explain. Here, this is another illustration where you can understand the ventral vagal part. which is the happy, green, joyful part. So if you have gone through the sharing circle, we went, we share, we make eye contact, we pass on the positive energy, and whatever is happening in the sharing circle, whatever is happening when we are dancing in kirtan, when we are deeply into the mantras and we are chanting, all of in those certain moments, the ventral vagal is very beautifully activated. And when the ventral vagal is activated, it is also activating this part of the brain, the frontal part related to cognition, intelligence, virtues, like positive energy, where I can have a choice that something is triggering me. How can I respond to it? All of this would happen when my frontal part and the ventral vagal nervous system of parasympathetic, which also helps me socialize with people, connect with people, build such enriching relationships, would happen with the green part of parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. Now, if just imagine the opposite, growing up with difficult experiences, lot of stimulation in either sympathetic part around the stomach or parasympathetic part, the immobilization part below the diaphragm. Sympathetic throughout the back around the stomach, and immobilization of parasympathetic, the freeze response below the diaphragm. If these two are affected throughout my living years, my this part of the brain is definitely shut. This part is very much activated, and somewhere this part also, which would trigger my amygdala. It would grow in size. I would go through a lot of anxiety, fear, stress. Or if this is activated and sympathetic is activated, it means heart rate is high, blood pumping is high, I am restless, I am not regulated at all. So even if I lie down on bed, I try to sleep, I try to slow down myself, it would just happen on a physical level, but physical as in muscles level, but not on nerves level. Which is why Yoga Nidra is so effective in healing trauma, because it directly stabilizes the nervous system. When we are in that subconscious state of half awake, also registering everything, being aware of what is happening, and half asleep, where we are in the what maybe the unconscious and the uh, dreamy state, I would say. Which is why we also start Yoga Nidra taking a sankalpa. Because if we are taking a sankalpa, we are doing that action in the highest, full fledged, full pumped point of brain, in where the cognitive state is very high, where the ventral vagal is beautifully activated, where the chest and the respiration, the breathing is very regulated, the facial muscles are very relaxed, and our body is in its highest vibration. Therefore, taking sankalpa or manifesting anything or healing the um, suppressed traumas which we may not be aware of, everything happens in the background on the nervous system level during Yoga Nidra class. So, this was the main thing to understand in polyvagal theory, that there is one single nerve called vagus nerve that starts from base of this brain, goes down to the spine, spreads on the face and the chest, ventral vagal, spreads in the stomach and the back of the spine, sympathetic nervous system, and spreads in the stomach and in the lower part around pelvic region, which is also connected to legs, is dorsal vagal. So dorsal vagal is the freeze response, where we are shut down, dissociated, disconnected, where the gut is not working, where we are severely depressed. The sympathetic would be again same, but in a more mobile way, where we are more anxious, agitated, hyper, defensive, and again the gut is not working well, the respiration and the blood flow is not regular, it's very irregular. So, what exactly is happening during your course of this 1 month is you are tapping the dorsal vagal, the freeze response, letting the stuck energy flow, the prana flow, regulating the sympathetic nervous system by all the kriyas and pranayama and asana, and also activating more or stimulating or sending more positive signals to the brain to strengthen the social engagement, the ventral vagal, tapping the dorsal vagal, regulating the sympathetic, and also strengthening the ventral vagal. These, all of these um, functions are happening inside your body as you live your life here in ashram and also outside. Now coming to the manual. Just go through the notes now that I've explained, page number 95, 96, and even summary 97. Now, this yoga and nervous system also, I would request you to go through your notes, and you're all welcome with all the doubts, because whatever I have explained in past 1 hour in previous lecture, it's the summary here in page number 97 and 98. How yoga and how this ashram life is helping you enhance your nervous system. Tomorrow, uh, I will just brush you up again with the limbic system for tomorrow's lecture, and we will also try to cover lymphatic system. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in the next lecture.